I'll call this meeting to order. If we could get a little quiet out there. It's getting a little loud in here. I know we got some anxious folks. And first off, let me start by saying, if you have already come here and presented your bill, you do not need to do it again. If you want to, you can. But for sake of time, if you have already presented your bill, you do not need to go again. So if anybody has other things they want to do or need to do, feel free to leave and exit now. Seeing none. Well, for all y'all standing, I tried to help you out. Now, another rule, since this is Rules Committee. I like rules. Once you present today, you do not need to come back. We'll hold one more Rules Committee. It will either be tomorrow night or it will be Friday morning. That's going to be kind of dependent on the Senate schedule tomorrow. We're going in at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and depending how fast we move through bills will kind of determine when rules will meet, and I'll make that decision fairly early in the day. So Rules Committee, y'all just stand by. We're either going to meet early evening tomorrow during a recess, or we will meet at 9 a.m. on Friday morning. And again, House members, if you present today, you will not need to come back and present again. Or if you have already presented, you do not need to come back and present again. Now, for you House members that are new to this, under normal circumstances, I make the bills available. So that is the yellow sheet you're looking at. Those bills are available for the committee to be picked. But the committee members are the ones that pick the bills. Again, that's under normal circumstances. Today is going to be an exception to that rule because I'm actually going to set the calendar tomorrow with about 17 bills. And then the rest, when we come back in, Rules Committee members, you're going to have about 2 to 3, possibly even 4 picks when we come back in, either tomorrow night or Friday morning, okay? So just giving everybody a heads up. So House members, lobby the committee members. Lobby them because they are the ones that will pick your bills outside of today. I'm going to pick them today. Because there's a lot of department bills we're trying to get on the floor tomorrow so they don't get caught up in crossover, and a few other bills we're trying to get on the floor tomorrow. So, I'm sorry for signing die. All right, so that's kind of the groundwork. So let's go through. First, we're in standing committee. All right, we're going to briefly go through our study committees. All right, so starting out, Senator James, you got SR 37.
She's not here.
All right.
She asked me to.
All right, go for it. Give me one sentence on it.
What's the number again?
SR 37, Senate Property Owners Association, Homeowners Association, Condominium Associations. Any questions?
No.
All right. Next, SR 85, Senator Walker.
Study Committee on Occupational Licensing.
Perfect. SR 121, Senator Butler. She's on Committee on Administrative Affairs. You want to cover that forward there?
Yes, number 12. That's just study committee to learn about students who may have got behind because of COVID.
Perfect. All right, 121. Oh, that's what we just did. I'm sorry. 144, Senator Estevez. You can run up to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's the Study Committee on Expanding Early Learning in Georgia.
Perfect. Any questions? Thank you. All right, Senator Mallow, are you with us? Senator Jones, you're going to cover that for us.
Yes. Study committee to determine what guardrails should be in place if there's not an agreement for a loss and a splosh between counties and cities.
All right, thank you. Senator Anna Vittardi, are you with us? I don't see him. Anybody want to cover SR 155? Great job. Thank you. Any questions? All right. Senate Resolution 159, Senator Strickland. I know you've been working hard on this one.
Very hard on this one. This will study child support guidelines when it comes to parenting time deviation. See how much money you owe, Mr. Chairman.
I'm not sure any of them are mine.
That's what they always say.
My kids are smart, so I'm going to get getting a DNA test on them. All right, Senator Halpern, SR 186. If you'll go to the podium.
This is a Senate resolution just in honor of a day at the Capitol for the Democratic Women Federation of Democratic Women.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right, Senator Jones of the 10th. I guess you're the only Senator Jones right now. Who else we got?
We got another one here.
Harold. Ah, that's right. I'm sorry. We lost the one to the LG office. We used to have 3. Now we're down to 2. At least we got the good 2. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Resolution 203, pediatric safe storage of weapons.
Perfect. Any questions? All right, Senate Resolution 251, Senator Davenport. She with us? Anybody want to cover that? 251. This is Senate Rosenwald School Study Committee. Anybody know what Rosenwald is?
Yeah, Rosenwald was one of number 2.
Got it.
He was one of the founders of Sears Roebuck. He was instrumental in African American studies early on education. And
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Senate Resolution 273, Senator Albers.
EMS reform.
EMS reform. Okay. You're going to reform emergencies?
Yes, each and every one of them.
Love it. All right, Senate Resolution 275, Senator Albers.
Expanding Georgia's workforce.
Listen, I was looking at the back of your head when I had that.
Okay.
here.
I would have taken it.
Gladly.
All right, Senate Resolution 279, Senator Dolezal. What's that? Oh. All right. Senate Resolution 282, Senator Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a study committee on foster care and adoption.
I like it. All right, Senate Resolution 286, Senator Beach.
Yeah, this is to create a study committee to look at minority business, women business, and veteran-owned. But I will tell you, we have House Bill 128 on the calendar, which really kind of has done this.
So do we need to pull this off?
Yeah, I mean, there's no need for it if House Bill 128 passes, Representative Hong's bill.
Assuming it gets picked.
If it gets picked and passes, then we would not need this study committee.
We'll leave it on for now.
Okay.
All right, Senate Resolution 293, Senator Halpern. In fact, you got 293 and 296. Go ahead and cover them both, please.
293 is a study committee that would look at equity impact tools, and it would just look at equity impacts and what we might be able to do as it relates to legislation. This is, you hear equity, you think race generally, but this really is looking at disparities, and it could also be impacts and unintended consequences on our rural areas versus urban.
Okay, 296.
And 296 is a
Not to
study.
cut you off, but I'm cutting you off.
296, excessive noise. We still have an issue with loud mufflers, loud music, and so this would be figuring out what the state could do to help our
In
police
this
officers.
room?
And in this room.
Can we add this
Excessive
room?
noise, yes.
No, I'm
But
kidding.
that's it.
Everybody's behaving nicely. All right, thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator Invertarde, 314.
Mike number 314 is a solar study committee, and I apologize I was late. Senate Resolution 155 was a trucking and shortage study committee.
I covered that.
All right, Senate Resolution 323.
Family caregivers, Mr. Chair.
All right, Senate Resolution 354.
Marijuana, Mr. Chair.
Marijuana.
What are we studying?
We study legalizing. We don't legalize it?
What are we studying with it?
We're studying the impacts, the negative impacts of the use of marijuana, especially recreational marijuana. We'll be working with the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control.
Gotcha. All right, so here's what we could do if it's the will of the committee. We can pass this onto a local consent calendar. If there's any resolution, any study committee, anyone wants to pull off, they can make that motion once we have a motion on the table for the consent calendar. Or is there any, actually before I make, is there anyone that would like to pull one off for individual consideration? Okay. All right, which ones, what's your number there for?
This is one of the most important ones. It's, and I don't see it in front of us. It's the study committee on study committees. Have you looked at this? If we adopt all of these, we'll be here all year.
You don't have to serve on all of them.
I know, but if
Anything you'd like to pull off, now would be the proper time to do that. And then we will vote on those
should we
individually.
go through them each one individually, or?
We just did. We're going to pass onto a local consent calendar of resolutions creating study committees. Anything you would like to pull off of that consent calendar, now would be the proper time, and I will
give us a few minutes.
Take that motion,
Have a clarifying question.
and then we will have an individual vote on each. Senator Dugan, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 2.
Number 2.
So if we pass it to a local consent calendar, we can still challenge on the floor to have it removed from the local consent calendar and vote for it individually.
Or
Is that not right?
I said local consent calendar. It's just a consent calendar.
Cons-
My understanding is
that's
we
what
could we could do it. We could do it on the floor as well. But since we're getting, I would pull off as many as you can at this point if that's what you want.
Yeah, I was trying to save
If
time.
you see something, but yes, you're saving time now, but it's going to hurt us later.
We need to pick them out.
Yes, question, Senator Albers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we in the standing committee? or-
We are in the standing committee at this time.
So isn't it true if we pass all these, they still then have to go and be redone for a consent on the rules committee once they're passed? Isn't that true? We have another step to do still, don't we?
That is correct. They would pass out. They
So
would
if
go
we-
to the rules calendar.
So if we just pass these now, we'd have some time before you put them into the rules committee to figure out which we might want to
They're going to be in the rules committee as soon as we get out of standing, which is going to be momentarily.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry. It would be tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'm
So we
sorry.
have a little
I'm
time.
learning the rules too. All right. What is the will of the committee? Chairman Walker.
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
Okay.
Is it not true that even if we were to pass all of these on the floor of the Senate, it's still at the discretion of the Lieutenant Governor whether or not to appoint the committee?
You know, you being a former floor leader of the Lieutenant Governor, you would know that best, and I think that is a great point to bring up to the committee.
I don't
Great
expect
point.
all of these to be appointed. I wouldn't. It'd be unusual
Fair enough.
historically.
So keep that in mind, committee. Now back to my original question. What is the will of the committee? I got a motion do pass to the consent calendar of resolutions creating study committees. I've got a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand.
You don't have to vote, Mr. Chairman.
I'm showing y'all what to do.
Which is your right, leading the witness.
All right. All right. Keep them up. We got to get a count.
Is there anybody opposed? It looks like everybody else. There's 2 opposed.
We're going to have some. What we got?
Yes. He's got the Schaefer wave.
Let me do this.
Left hand counts
For
too.
some.
We're gonna pull them off
Who else is here, sorry?
next week.
Noah?
We'll pull them off tomorrow. We just need to go through the list tomorrow separately.
All right. All opposed, raise your hand. Gooch and Dolezal, the riffraff of the Senate. Which one? Are you riff and he's raff?
The conservative conscience of this.
I just didn't want to,
All right, motion passes. All right, this meeting is adjourned and new meeting is start. Wait, what?
Storage of guns.
Do pass. Oh, up. What? Senate Resolution 186. I'm sorry, meeting was not adjourned. That was a false alarm. We did have Senate Resolution 186 commending the Georgia Federation of Democratic Women. That one actually is separate because it's not a study committee. What is the will of the committee?
Motion to pass.
Got a motion to pass from Senator Robertson and second from Senator Dugan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous. Those will all go on to Rules Committee tomorrow. All right, did I do everything right? All right, thank you. All right, now the meeting's adjourned, and we will call this next meeting to order. We're now in Rules, and we will go to the general calendar and Rules consideration calendar, your yellow sheet. House members, thank you for being patient. I tell you what, let's just, since we're standing, Representative Towns, you want to hop up there?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what bill and what page and.
It's House Bill 181. It's LC 33951-3S. Basically, this is a constituent-based bill on a plant-based product called Kratom. It's right now it's not safe for Georgians. It's when you buy it off the shelves of a convenience store in front of the counter, you're not sure what you're getting. It could be a low dose, high dose. We've had 2 bad reactions I know of recently in St. Simons, and one actually committed suicide because he was on that and other drugs. The second one actually used it in a halfway house.
Is that your only bill?
181. Yes, sir. 181.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for the author? Thank you. Great job, Representative Corbett. I know you got another meeting. If you don't, go ahead. Hop up there. Trying to be accommodating.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. House Bill 81, first page. Basically, we're doing here, we're just helping some schools that would not be able to qualify for this low wealth project-specific grant that's in code now.
What was the bill number?
81, LC 491061.
All right.
But we're changing the criteria. Once the system needs have been met, they'll roll off of that list and allow the next school to roll on and qualify for this grant.
All right. Any questions for the author? Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Representative Hong, I think you're chairing a committee or something?
I am.
Go ahead.
Mr. Sherry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have House Bill 128, LC 365387-EC. This streamlines the state business certification process by taking out the federal certification requirement, and it will also add women-owned businesses and veteran-owned businesses to the state certification process.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 2 bills for consideration. The first one is House Bill 309. It's the bottom of the 3rd page. And this is a department request. It clarifies what CPAs can do when evaluating whether somebody thinking about opening an assisted living facility has the financial backing and security to do so.
Okay, what was your other one? 470?
Yes, sir.
All right, 4th page, 3/4 the way down.
Thank you, sir. This is one that perhaps made the Capitol shake. Last week, we had an agreement between the trial lawyers, the hospitals, the doctors, the insurers. It's a new way, just one small way of doing something differently in trying to resolve in a positive way when patients have unintended unexpected consequences happen to them without involving the legal system. It's totally voluntary between patients and the hospital or the doctor in the hospital, and that's what it is. I'll be glad to answer questions.
Any questions for the author? Thank you. All right. Representative Taylor, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring you House Bill 317. This is a bill that has to do with the retirement plan for it's an old plan that the state has, and for some reason they did not allow an assignment of life insurance benefits to the funeral home. And funeral homes have been left without their bill being paid, and this allows them to accept an assignment for the funeral expenses. And
317, it's not on the yellow sheet, but she can go ahead and present.
Okay. Thank you. One of the issues were, because it is a pension plan, but once the employee has deceased, it's the beneficiary's money, so the state is relieved they're doing what the beneficiary wants and assigning the benefits.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
questions for the author?
Thank you.
Representative Ballinger, you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if I'm on the yellow sheet or not. Actually, I was trying to sneak over to Chairman Cooper.
Just tell us your bills. And
it's 508 and 509. 508 basically establishes a shot clock for the temporary protective order to be given to the respondent. It's a domestic violence bill. And 509 basically adds. Under burglary, you can, if you unlawfully enter the dwelling of another and you commit a theft or a felony, then you're charged with burglary. I'm just adding basically a family violence act to that burglary statute.
Any questions for the author? Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative DeLoach.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This is House Bill 294 by Senate committee substitute. It deals with reinsurance contracts when the ceding insurer is in liquidation. It simply creates the right of the successor of that insurer in liquidation to continue a reinsurance contract.
All right, any questions for the author? Seeing none, thank you. Representative Gamble. I didn't see you sitting over there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Actually, I did. I just didn't call on you.
Thank you. House Bill 130. It's on, I don't know which page it's on. I hadn't seen your sheet. Okay. This is Governor Kemp's administrative initiative, the Georgia Peace Officer Service Loan Repayment Program. This will allow someone coming into law enforcement that's post-certified or someone that's currently there to be eligible for up to for up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness in exchange for working 5 years in law enforcement. The degree has to be specific to criminal justice if they're currently in law enforcement.
All right, thank you.
I've got one more.
Hurry.
All right. House Bill 279, it deals with fortified construction. You've probably heard this before. It basically incentivizes construction of fortified construction, and it allows the insurance companies to determine an incentive to offer if you build to that standard. That's House Bill 279.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Tillery, you want to come up? I hear you got a little bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate your time. HB 19 FY24 budget.
Any reason why it's a 19?
Well, that is my district.
How'd you get the House to do that?
Got to have friends on both sides of the aisle to pass a bill.
That's the best you got?
That's all I got.
All right. All right. Representative Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bring to you House Bill 76, Marriage Therapy Upgrade Bill, which I'm intricately familiar with the subject matter. And I understand that y'all have a little bit of special information that might be on the back of it that should be great news for all members of the legislature.
Yes, your next marriage won't have to get approved by Gork.
Absolutely. Or be appointed by the governor. Second bill is House Bill 353, and I believe that is on
page 4, fifth one down.
That's an upgrade bill to the COAM division. Puts APA and open records into the COAM division that regulates the industry. Allows gift cards per the 2-year pilot project that the Lottery Commission has been experimenting with, and they say it's a good to go and protects the private property rights of the landlords that lease these properties to the licensees.
Okay. Any questions for the author? Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got 2 bills on your schedule, and I don't have the form with it, so I don't know where it is. But the first one is House Bill 480, and it's a agency bill from the State Board of Workers' Compensation. It just cleans up the language of what a dependency is at the time of a death, and it also allows for an increase in the max benefits of when you get injured on the job.
All right, next one.
The next one is House Bill 285, and this is a department bill. It basically allows the employee retirement system to be able to invest in alternative investments from 5% to 10%, and they just are requesting that increase.
Representative Franklin, are you a department floor leader?
No, sir.
Okay, you just got 2 department bills.
I just got
or do
one.
you just say that so they'll get picked?
That's part of it.
That's a good good method, because there's like 82 department bills on here. All right, thank you. Any questions for the author? Thank you. Representative Smith, my former delegation member.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before you booted me out of Troup County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a Senate
No,
Finance.
thank you.
I've got a Senate Finance substitute to House Bill 264. This is a taxpayer's bill. During their appeal process for property taxes, it balances the time between the tax assessors and the hearing officers, and I appreciate your consideration.
And your other one? Was that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Representative Yerda, come on up.
Thank you.
I have Senate substitute for House Bill 204. It creates a Georgia Municipal Court Council, which the courts and municipal courts in Georgia are very varied, from Atlanta to small cities. This would aid in them getting grants, federal type grants that would, so they could create a municipal court clerk certification program. I'm convinced it would make this state better with municipal courts. The second part of the bill clarifies the law that the legislature can only reapportion county commission districts. And the other part of the bill just says that if you're in a county commission seat for the term of 4 years, that you would not be able to, that you would be able to serve the remainder of your 4-year term. And that's the bill.
Thank you. Representative Stevens, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the last page, House Bill 557 brings us in line with the rest of the country, and with the APRNs and PAs being able to prescribe certain emergency prescriptions for a 5-day emergency order for Class 2 narcotics.
Okay. Any questions for the author? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it? That's all you got? Come on up, Mac. Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Nice coat, by the way.
Excuse me, sir?
Nice coat.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. House Bill 82, it's on the front page, and this is a rural physician tax credit that's been perfected by both houses and the Department of Revenue, and we think it's a perfect bill.
Perfect bill. All right. You got some, Meyer got some questions out of that. Anybody got a question? No? All right. I guess not.
Thank you.
Perfect bill needs no questions. Chairman Jaspers, come on up.
Yes, sir.
What you got, brother?
I've got Senate substitute to House Bill 406. Mr. Chairman, I'm not on your yellow sheet, but I got a call from your fine staff yesterday. This bill does 3 things. It's the work of the Joint Commission on Electrification of Transportation. Senator Gooch and I chaired this past year. Does 3 things: allows for the sale of power by retail by others than Georgia Power or the EMCs, allows the regulation of electric vehicle charging stations for safety, accuracy, and the collection of the excise tax, and the taxing of the sale of electricity.
Okay. Thank you. Senator Sam Watson back there. I know the House is calling you. We're good, Representative Jasper. Thank you.
Thanks,
You did
sir.
such a great job that no questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got House Bill 291 for Representative Scoggins. He's out with strep, and I'm carrying this bill for him on the floor. I think it's on the second page, third page. HB 291. This is dealing with the Council of Probate Judges on deals with guardian and ward. They've asked to allow some other folks to help them out in this area, and that's basically what the bill does.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Representative. Come on up.
Hey, I've got House Bill 538, the Georgia Early Literacy Act.
Is this your first bill?
Yes.
Okay.
It gets our students reading on grade level by the end of 3rd grade by requiring the use of scientific, evidence-based foundational principles that have been proven to work. It gives the teachers the tools and training to teach children to read, and it gives students the tools to read at ever-increasing levels of comprehension, and it provides a timeline for implementation of this plan and assessment of the students.
Okay. Any questions? All right, let's hang on. Hang on. What bill are we doing? What number? What number are we on? What's the bill number again? I'm sorry.
538, it's on the very back page.
538. All right. Representative Ballard, continue, please.
Okay, well, I was done. Do you want me to go through it all again?
Nope. Good job.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you. Come on up.
Mr. Chairman, I just looked at the list, and I'm not on the list, but I'll be glad to present this really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
House Bill 31 is the dedication of all the hazardous waste fees to the Hazardous Waste Trust Fund so it can be used to clean up hazardous waste sites in Georgia.
31. I don't think 31's made it to rules yet. Did you come out of, when did it come out of committee?
Last week.
Are you looking on Senate bill? It's House bill. Okay, yeah, we got it. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Dr. Newton, come on up.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I have two bills that came out of, substituted out of Senate Finance. House Bill 308, LC 432813S now. That's a bill to continue a program that's worked real well, training our PAs, nurse practitioners, and medical students by using a physician tax credit for a preceptor who's willing to take them on for a month at a time. This process will currently expire for all our Georgia schools at the end of this year if we don't renew it. So it would be very valuable to our medical and PA and nurse schools.
All right, is that all you got?
I got one other. It's House Bill 230, also a bill that came out of Senate Finance, substitute LC 432803S. That bill recognizes the consolidated government on the border of South Carolina for a regional project, an arena that we want to rebuild in place, and that allows us to, through a sales tax, half-penny sales tax, it allows us to get money from those out of state that will enjoy the benefit of that arena.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My fellow Vice Chairman Gaines, come on up. How are you, Mr. Vice Chairman?
Good, Mr. Vice Chairman. How you doing?
I'm great. Good to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, honored to have you. Go ahead.
Got two bills that are on the yellow sheet. House Bill 88, which is the top of page 2. And this is the Coleman-Baker Act, allows for reinvestigation of cold case homicides. It allows for reporting of cold cases and for coroners to issue non-specific homicidal means of death. Trying to address several issues related to cold case homicides. And then also on the bottom of page 2, House Bill 185, which would provide tuition grants that we have included in the budget for students with intellectual disabilities who attend what are called IPSE programs at UGA and colleges throughout the state, Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern. And so that allows students with intellectual disabilities for tuition funding, because currently they're not eligible for HOPE. And then I did have House Bill 528 that I think was on the yellow sheet that I just mentioned, but I think it's no longer on there. That allows for the for consumers who subscribe to something online, automatic renewal, to make sure they can also cancel that subscription online, so you don't have to call and sit on hold and wait in order to cancel a subscription.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Yes, sir. Come on up, Representative Meeks. How are you?
Doing great, Mr. Chairman. How about you today?
Doing well.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Top of page 3 is House Bill 189. Mr. Chairman, this is being brought from the Senate Transportation Committee as a substitute. The language was brought forward by both Chairman Dolezal and Leader Gooch. Many of you may know over the last 3 years we've had the opportunity to operate at a 95,000 weight exemption by executive order of the governor. That exemption has expired. So what this bill does, it allows for a 10% variance for a total of 88,000 for forestry and agriculture only, restricts the miles traveled to 75 radius of the farm or wherever the point of origin is, grants local law enforcement the ability to weigh trucks using if they have scales, and restricts the trucks from entering the non-attainment area around Metro Atlanta area.
All right. Is that your only bill?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Irwin, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are 2 bills of mine here on your list. On the first page, House Bill 87 there is our completion school bill, continuing with 3 of our current programs, which is Mountain Ed, Foothills, and Coastal Plains, and also setting up 7 zones in the state for like-type dropout prevention schools to be set up, working with our non-traditional schools.
All right, what else?
And the other is 338, which is a bill that we heard last year here in Rules also, is a filtering bill for handheld devices that children are issued through their schools, filtering it for inappropriate material and trying to keep pornography off of those items and securing them.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Washburn, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm presenting Senate Committee Substitute to House Bill 514. It deals with moratoriums on residential construction. It does not allow a moratorium for longer than 180 days except under some specific conditions. Also does not allow the imposing of a new moratorium for another 180 days. Also limits permitting fees to the cost of administration of the permitting process. Lastly, it allows local government to waive some fees, doesn't require them to waive fees to incentivize residential construction. And that is the bill.
All right, any questions for the author? Thank you. Representative Silcox, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 4 bills. The first 2 are department bills. The first one is for Chairman Tyler Paul Smith. House Bill 475 is the annual code revision to revise and modernize the code. The second bill is for the Department of Human Services. That's House Bill 571, and it's going to ask the Georgia Alzheimer's and Related Dementia State Plan Advisory Council to update our statistics related to Alzheimer's and dementia every 2 years and give a official report every 4 years. The third bill is House Bill 416, and this is, since the federal emergency is expiring on May 11th, this is going to allow our pharmacies to still utilize pharmacy technicians to administer vaccines only. Those vaccines would still be dosed by the pharmacist, but this would allow them, like I said, to use the pharmacy technicians going forward. And finally, I have House Bill 500, which would make it a crime to set a police vehicle on fire. And those are the 4 bills.
So it's not a current crime to set a vehicle on fire?
It is a crime to destroy government property, but this would make it a felony to do so to a police vehicle. And it would be a fine of $100,000 and or 3 to 20.
All right, let's get a little order in here. We got a lot to do, a little time to do it. All right, any questions for the author? Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up, Representative.
Representative Sharon Henderson, HB 384. It's not on your list, however, HB 384, prostate cancer is the second leading cause of death in Georgia among men. This year alone, almost 9,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and over 800 lose their battle to prostate cancer. This bill simply asks insurance companies to send notifications to men upon reaching age 45 to have a PSD test done, which would diagnose the level of PSA that they have. Early detection is key. Early detection saves lives. And this is simply all this bill does. It detects early detection and save lives in the state of Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, no questions. You're good. Come on up.
Thank you, Chairman Brash. Thank you, members of the committee. I got two bills. Got House Bill 143 is the continuous glucose monitors. We're going off a substitute, changing it from medical pharmacy to most cost-effective method. So that's the only change in House Bill 143. I think we've heard this several times.
Okay.
All right. The
Any
second
questions?
one is House Bill 498, funeral directors, license 10 years lapsed. They can get them reinstated by meeting certain criteria.
All right, any questions? What? Sir James, no questions, thank you. Senator Parent, did you have something? You have something to present? Yes, sir. Okay, what you got? Hand her mic 9 there, please.
Thank you. It's on the, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members. SR 250, number 1 on the first page, is a resolution that urges the city of South Fulton and East Point to form a hospital authority. They have an opportunity to do that, and to because of the Wellstar South Fulton hospital closing, the people in Hateville, East Point, College Park, Union City, Fairburn, Palmetto, Chattahoochee Hills, and Southwest Atlanta don't have access right now to a hospital, and we have.
Why don't they have access?
Available.
What was it that closed?
Excuse me?
What closed nearby?
The only thing nearby is Grady Hospital, and that,
Which one closed?
oh, the South Fulton East Point Regional Center.
Okay. And then did AMC probably didn't help either.
And then AMC closed
Yeah.
too. And that
Who
was-
manages that? Oh, Wellstar, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's under.
All right.
So it's nothing against Wellstar. We just have people now
Oh, it is.
who need a they need an authority to in order to get the bonds. But we have funding available, but we have to have either a hospital
Right.
authority or some other the governor or somebody to ask for it. Thank you.
Right, and I apologize for not calling on you. I didn't see you were number 1 on the list right there, and I didn't even see it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I hope that
Yeah.
y'all can pick it.
Thank you. Okay. Representative Jenkins.
Good afternoon, Mr.
from
Chairman.
Al-Qaeda delegation.
Yes.
Good to have you.
Glad to be here. Have two bills for you this afternoon. House Bill 132 on the second page, which I have previously presented, relating to graded lumber, so we won't talk much about that.
Next.
House Bill 254 is my second bill. This bill pertains to legal organs. It's a 3-part bill. The first part makes it changes the criteria for selecting a legal organ. This is aimed primarily at our rural counties who may have lost their legal organ. The second part of this bill adjusts ad rates. It actually increases the legal notice rates for inflation. Then the third part of the bill is basically if the legal organ fails to publish a legal notice that was run in the paper, this allows electronic means to back that process up and proceed without interruption, so that we can continue processes without delay.
All right, any questions for the author? Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Representative Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished members, here to present to you House Bill 219. If you turn to the top of page number 3, House Bill 219 provides victims of financial crimes with justice by changing the venue from where the assets reside to where the victim is.
All right, any questions? Is that it?
I got another one.
What
Two
you
more. Turn to the next page, top of page 4. House Bill 318 removes the redundancy in state government by removing responsibility for the oversight of state and local charter schools to one agency, the State Charter School Commission here in Georgia.
Okay, what's your third one?
Third one, not on there yet, but House Bill 453 removes a ambulance provider fee that's been paid for the better part of 20 years without matching reimbursement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Representative Lever, come on up.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I have, I believe, a total of 6 bills. I looked at the sheet. I think 3 of them are on there. House Bill 80, which I presented a few days ago.
Batting 500, that ain't bad.
And then House Bill 80, I presented a few days ago, and I'm assuming you don't wish to hear that again.
Nope.
All right. Then House Bill 220. Without getting into the legalities of it, it basically would require HOAs and condominium associations to go to court first before they go onto property to cure any kind of deficiencies. And then House Bill 227 creates a new crime of damage to critical infrastructure. It makes it a subset of criminal damage to property in the first degree, increases the penalty. This is for folks who damage power substations and things like happened in North Carolina back just before Christmas.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Come on down.
Good afternoon. I have House Bill 43, which is on the top, near the top of the first page on the yellow sheet. This bill is requested by our Council on American Indian Concerns and our 3 state-recognized tribes. It, number 1, updates the addresses for those 3 state-recognized tribes so they can properly be found, and 2, ensures that those tribes always have representation on our council, which is under DNR.
Cool. Any questions? Are you in a tribe?
No, I'm not. But
okay.
Certainly we should be supportive of them and am.
Yeah, obviously. I was just checking.
Thank you.
You said we, our tribes. I just wanted to, I was just curious.
We're all part of some tribe, right?
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
Some we don't want to be part of. All right, thank you. Come on, Representative Petrie. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bring you today substitute to House Bill 244. This is a Department of Natural Resources bill. You don't need to worry about it a bit because it came through Senator Lee Anderson's committee, which means it's thoroughly vetted. And this bill is about 4 years ago, I carried the oyster mariculture bill. Most of this is some improvements there related to defining cages for new technology with growing oysters. We also have some language in here allowing the governor to replace board members like they do in other boards across the state. And we actually also in here allow, as you'll notice, electronically calling fox and bobcat in this state as during hunting season for those species.
Okay. So your oyster bill, the original oyster bill, if I remember correctly, you had a House member testify against it, and if I remember the number right, he kept saying 37 members in the House voted against it. Isn't that, is that the same
I can't
bill?
remember that. I can't remember that. I know we had a member on the coast who actually opposed that measure.
Well, he was the one.
Enough.
I had to remind him 37 wasn't enough. But,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. Not
okay.
quite enough. It's a good bill, and we're, by the way, anybody interested, we are only awaiting the Corps of Engineers approval. Federal bureaucracy is the only thing keeping us from farming oysters in Georgia at this very minute. We're still waiting, and we have been for quite some time.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Representative Dempsey, come on up. My mama would be enjoying this if she was watching. In fact, she may be.
Maybe she can go back and watch us, okay?
She's probably watching, actually.
Just everybody's
information, I was in high school with the chairman's mother. We graduated together. So.
And I was in college with her daughter.
Yeah, it all worked out, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we are.
So here we are today, page 3, the 5th one down, the Senate substitute to HB 228. This is a great opportunity for several of our colleges and a university that were not eligible for tuition equalization grants back in 2011 when 33 schools were grandfathered in to that program. It allows in Section 2, it allows for 2 HBCUs to be considered, Payne College and Morris Brown College. In Section 3, South College, which was Senator Burns' bill that passed out of here and was just being heard again over in House Higher Education. And then in Section 4 is the underlying bill for Chamberlain University. They each address critical shortages in our state to help with the education process, as well as particularly the nursing shortage. So.
Awesome.
Strong. Thank
My
you.
whole takeaway from your presentation was I heard you saying the House is actually taking up some of our bills, so I'm glad to hear that.
We are, and I mean, I'm just lucky I'm here. I will tell you this, that Senator Burns came to pitch this to y'all because we didn't have a quorum, and then the quorum was reached at that moment, so we're looking out for you.
Yes, he yelled at us.
Yeah, okay.
As usual.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Representative Reeves, come on up.
Thank you, Chairman Brass and members of the Rules Committee. I'm here to present House Bill 383, the Safer Hospitals Act. This bill came through Chairman Watson's committee and was passed unanimously. This bill puts all hospital employees on par with emergency room workers in terms of protections from assault and battery. It also allows all hospitals in the state to form a hospital campus police department like some hospitals currently have the ability to do through grandfathering or through being affiliated with a college. Respectfully request approval of House Bill 383. And then 3 bills which I presented previously, just to recap those and respectfully request approval of. House Bill 182, that is the State Bar of Georgia's commercial real estate bill and some other mortgage and title insurance matters. House Bill 444, the Liz Pendon's bill to give clear title to real estate. And a department bill, House Bill 572, the State Ethics Commission bill, which formally renames the State Ethics Commission the State Ethics Commission. Thank you.
Okay. Important bill. Thank you. Any questions about the state ethics being named state ethics?
Thank you, Representative, for bringing this. What was the State Ethics Commission called before it was called the State Ethics Commission?
15 years ago, it was the State Ethics Commission, and now it is a tongue twister, the Georgia Transparency and Accountability, blah, 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 blah.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody can say it 5 times fast.
I'm just glad we've passed so many laws in 15 years that we've gone back to starting all over again. I appreciate it.
There are a few things that Mr. Amati requested that are technical cleanups also in the bill. Important legally, and the committee recommended it unanimously.
I was just picking on you. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, Representative Vance, come on up.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. It's House Bill 396. It is not on your yellow sheets, but it passed out of Chairman Anderson's committee a week or so ago, and all it does is add the president of Georgia College and State University and/or designee to the the Oconee River Greenway Authority.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Representative LaHood, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm
you
here
were
to
very
present.
gracious to me yesterday in committee. I want to commend
Well,
you.
you did a wonderful job presenting your bill.
Well, thank you.
You made it real easy to get it through. I'm here to present House Bill 497. It's second from the bottom on page 4. And what this bill does is address some of the healthcare workforce challenges by allowing certified medication aides to work within state
penal institutions?
correctional institutions. Penal institutions, yes, thank you.
You can say penal in here.
Well,
okay.
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to offend anybody. And also in Section 2, it removes some barriers to becoming a certified nurse's assistant. And both the Department of Corrections and the Department of Community Health are supporting the bill.
All right. Any questions for Chairman LaHood? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Tim, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I'm here today presenting House Bill 306, which deals with performance contracting for local governments. It's on the bottom of page 3, I believe. And it's providing for performance contracting for local governments and school boards. It does 3 things and aligns Title 20 with Title 50. It provides that performance contracts can be based off revenue generation measures. And then 3, just simply defines what a facility is in code.
Question from my vice chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How long are those contracts in play?
So it just, the contracts depends once it goes through the bidding process, the local government. I mean, it could be a year, depending on the procurement process that the local government uses.
A performance contract, could it be extended to like 10 years?
Yes, sir, because it pays for itself over the term of the contract.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, come on up.
It's not on the sheet, but House Bill 269 passed out of government oversight on Monday. It's regarding workforce development boards and allowing them to meet via teleconference.
Okay. I'll make a note of that. It was supposed to be available. That one's available, just FYI. 269.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Blackman. You good? Representative Perkle?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. HB 51 allows flexibility for school systems in the transport of students, allows the student athletes, all student athletes access protections and best practices afforded by the National Federation of High Schools. HB 51.
All right.
I have another one? Yes, sir. HR 256 is the road naming bill. That is it's time constraint. It's got to come over and go back. So HR 256, I think, came through. HB 6.
When did that come out of committee? Road naming bill, when did that come out of committee? It'll be under HR.
That's HR 256.
Okay.
All right, HB 607 allows student finance to adjust the ACT composite score to be equivalent to a 1200 SAT score regarding eligibility for a Zell Miller. Pretty simple. Apples to apples bill.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are you a representative? You got a
Just
you don't have a
barely.
white badge on.
I brought the old. I went old school today, sir.
Oh, throwback.
37 days and a pulled hamstring later. I'm glad to be here.
Throwback Thursday.
That's right. House Bill 404, Safe at Home Act. First time in Georgia code. It provides a cap on security deposits for 2 months. It provides a 3 business day right to cure. It provides that property be fit for habitation, and it makes sure that it's clear that during the eviction process you can't cut off the AC.
I'm just impressed you got a bill out of the house.
Barely. Barely. Somebody behind me had to be pushing it, I feel quite certain. And then I got another one, but we'll talk about that for another day. I'm sure that's not on your list today.
You can mention if you like while you're here, so you don't have to come back.
Absolutely. House Bill 170 does 2 things. First, it gives us tax parity across the internet with our brick and mortar stores in our community. It's a digital download tax on books, music, art, etc. And then it also has a piece in there about allowing a bill that we passed a few years ago to distribute, to deliver alcohol to residents. It would allow a 25-mile radius.
All right. Any questions for Representative Carpenter? Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right. The whip.
Mr. Chairman, committee members, thank you for allowing me to present to you House Bill 611.
You got something on your lip there. You might want
to. You know. This is a distraction.
It is for me. I just don't recognize you. But go ahead. I'm
House
sorry.
Bill 611 requires that after June 1st of this year, any litigation that the state settles on, all those proceeds shall be appropriated by the state, the General Assembly.
All right. Any questions? Got a question from Senator Rhett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The chairman wanted me to tell you that just because your bill is the last one on the list Don't take it personally.
Thank you.
Actually, I didn't tell him that. Take it personal.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
members.
Appreciate you. All right, Representative Saines, did you have something? Senator Harbison, you got something?
Davenport has something.
Senator Davenport, did you have something? 8:42. 8:42. Come on up to the podium. Come on up to the podium.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Sorry I was running late, but I had to be over in the House to get that bill out for the blind for Braille.
Are you here to talk about your study committee,
yes,
SR
sir.
251?
251. 842. Is that it?
842. We didn't have that many. We had a lot of study committees. We didn't have that many. Is it a H? What's your full number? HB? Is it HB, HR, SR?
SR. I don't know if she printed it out for me. It's concerning the Rosenwald School.
Yeah, so it actually passed on a consent calendar for study committees. Would you like to pull that off and vote on it separately? Okay. Well, then you're so efficient it got done before you even got here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Were there any other? Did I miss anybody? Senator Setzler. You know, crossover was a couple weeks ago.
I'm well aware of that, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 204 down on your yellow sheet, but it's Representative Yurda's bill that creates a council of municipal court clerks and also accomplishes a bill that did not make crossover.
Okay. 204, Yurda. All right. He was here earlier.
Sure. Okay. Just want to make sure we're covered.
You want to go over the rest of them? Reiterate all of them?
It's your pleasure.
No, I hear you talk enough. Thank you. And I mean that in a good way. All right. So, did everybody speak? Representative senators that wanted to speak? Did I miss anyone? I'm looking out in the crowd. I don't. Representative Wade? You good? You want to tell the committee hello? All right, that's enough. Keep it down. No, you know, you had asked me about the mercy rule, and I think the mercy rule kicked in, and so I took the scoreboard down out of respect to my, well, I wanted some bills out of the house, so I took the scoreboard down. I wanted y'all's bills out of the house, too, so we just, you know, we're beating them like a drum. All right, like I said earlier, I'm going to go ahead and set the calendar for tomorrow, and then when we come in for our final rules committee of the year, each committee member will have somewhere between 2 and 4 picks. And so House members and fellow senators, you will need to be lobbying the committee. These are the people that will pick your bills. I don't pick bills except for these 17 I'm about to pick. And but they will be picking. So lobby them. They will pick your bills. They will have to prioritize. And we'll go from there. So we'll set the calendar for Monday, and then on signing day we'll be doing a lot of agrees and disagrees, and probably picking up whatever's on the table. So that's where we're at. All right. So for tomorrow, we're going to have, assuming the committee approves, we're going to do the budget. Figured that's important. So HB 19, HB 76, HB 80, HB 87, HB 126, HB 128, HB 175, HB 189, HB 243, HB 309, HB 327, HB 353, HB 383, HB 437, HB 475, HB 480, HB 529, HB 572. Is that? It's on there now. 529 and 572. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. What's the will of the committee? Got a motion of due pass from my vice chairman. I got a second from Senator Albers and Harbison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Meeting adjourned.